Well, good morning, everyone. Today is Friday, and luckily we're feeling a little bit better. As you guys saw, Wednesday and Thursday were really rough. But I woke up this morning, and I don't know, I'm feeling a little bit better. So I'm hopeful for today. I'm going to try not to put too much pressure on myself, but I'm a little hopeful. So I'm going to go with that. Right now, I am heading to the metro because the subway, the underground, because I have a doctor's appointment. So I have a certain number of prescriptions that I take. You guys and I have talked about it before. And I'm running out. So I am on my way to see if this doctor can prescribe me the metformin and the losartan and my Lexapro and all the other stuff that I'm taking. So I'm doing that, and also I'm going to take advantage of this opportunity to ask her to give me some of the blood tests that I want to do that I haven't done. We did some a while back, like right before we started, or right as we were starting in the US. But, it's been a few months. So we're going to do some more tests if she's amenable to it. And do some other tests that, like, I didn't do when we were in the US last time we did blood work. We didn't do any of the lipids. And so I want to go ahead and get that done as well. So we're going to head over to the doctor, and I'll report when we're done. And also don't forget that today is Friday, so we're going to be doing our workout. Like that's a non-negotiable, you guys. Even as crappy as we were feeling the last few days, this workout is non-negotiable. So get ready, get your things ready, and I'll see you guys in a bit. Well, it is time for a workout, you guys. I got back from my doctor's appointment a little while back, and we made lunch, and it's now time for a workout. I rested a little bit, and I was working on the videos, catching up on the videos for Wednesday and Thursday, as you guys saw. And so now it is finally time for a workout, and luckily, I do have enough energy for a workout today. So let's just get right into it. We're going to do it. It's going to be maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever it is that you're doing. But let's do it together. That's the whole point, right? We work out together. We do it together. And I'm going to do my kettlebell swings. You guys can do whatever it is that you want. The point is that we do it together, and that's the beauty of it. And so, yeah, let's just get into it. First set. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8, 9, 10. Woo! First set. All right, so as you guys know from the beginning of the video, I went to see a doctor today because I'm currently taking some medication. I'm taking something called metformin to help with blood sugar and to lower my A1C. And then I'm also taking something called losartan with a hydrochlor something. Can't remember the name, but that is for blood pressure. My blood pressure was getting higher, and it was just not. I was basically already in hypertension, which is not great, and so I'm taking that. I'm also taking 20 milligrams of Lexapro or escitalopram, which is, I guess, the compound name. And
yeah, I usually, as much as I can, get those in the US just because my insurance covers most of it. And that's where my doctors are. But every once in a while, you find yourself in a different country and you start running out of medication. And so the only way to get it is to. So I basically just booked an appointment with a general physician. And we had an interesting conversation because, just interesting to see the different approaches to medicine that we have in different countries, I guess. And so let me keep going with another set here and we'll talk a little bit more about it. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So we talked a little bit about everything. We talked a little bit about why I was taking these different kinds of medications and all that. And so the metformin, there is something called the hemoglobin A1C, which is a way to measure basically your blood sugar for the past 3 months, I guess it's what it is. And so that basically, what that shows is basically if you're diabetic or not. And you want it to be, I think that you are pre-diabetic when you cross into 5.7, and then from 5.7 till I believe it's 6.4, you're basically pre-diabetic. And then once you're above 6.4, then you're basically diabetic, and it comes with a whole nother set of things. But last time that I had it measured, I believe it was in February, and I was talking to her about it. She said, well, we should do it every 3 months. So we're basically due for another test. When I did it in February, it was 5.4. So that was, I think we had already started with this. I can't really remember, but I'm pretty sure that when I got those test results, I told you guys, because I was very happy about that. Because for the last few years, it had been creeping up. It had been going up little by little. And the last time that I had it, I believe it was like maybe in October of last year. It was like 5.7, I believe. Yeah, I believe it was 5.7. But it had been slowly creeping up over the last few years. And then finally we got to 5.7, and it was, I was officially pre-diabetic. And so that wasn't good. Let's do one more set. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. And so since it had been more than 3 months, she wanted to see that, which, completely agree with that. Then we had, okay, so that's the metformin. And of course, the drug helps lower your A1C, obviously, but also, I believe some of the dietary changes and the exercise and all that stuff that we're doing is also contributing to lowering that. Then also, when we started this, I bought a blood pressure thingy, little device that measures the blood pressure. Because I also know that the last few physicals that I'd had the last couple of years, my blood pressure was consistently high, But again, I was measuring it like once a year, if that. And that's certainly not ideal at all, because you really don't know. And so every time that somebody measured it, at a physical, it was always elevated, like more than elevated. I think it was like hypertension level 2 or something. And so I bought this blood pressure monitor thingy, and I started measuring, and yep, the first few weeks when I started doing it, my blood pressure was high. It was hypertension stage 2, I believe is what it's called. It was basically, you get two measurements, the systolic, is that what it is, and diastolic, I believe those are the top and the bottom. Basically, it was like 140s over 90s, which again is not great. And so at that point, my doctor in the US also decided that it was a good idea for us to get on some kind of blood pressure medication, and it's the losartan hydro something that I'm taking. It's like a combo drug. Let's do one more set. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. And now that I've been taking it, it has continued to go down, and it's almost normal. My systolic, which I believe is the top one, the top number, still a little elevated, but coming back down to basically normal ranges. And my diastolic has been pretty good for the last few weeks, consistently under 80, which is exactly what we want. So we talked a little bit about that, and she said again, as we continue with our weight loss efforts and better nutrition, better exercise, she told me to watch the sodium intake, of course, but for the most part, we are technically doing okay. And so we are going to continue with that. And then the escitalopram, the Lexapro, is just an antidepressant that I've been on for a while now. And yeah, there are no changes to change that anytime. And so I just needed to get new prescriptions because I was running out. And so I went to see her, but she had some interesting things when we were talking about it during the consultation. It was great. I mean, I probably ended up spending like a solid half an hour with her. That never happens in the US. That does not happen. And this was a private consultation, so I wasn't going through like an insurance or anything. It wasn't expensive. And just had plenty of time to talk to her and for her to talk to me and sort of figure out what we're doing and why we're doing it and all that. It was great. It was very good. Very good. Let me do one more set and we'll talk about what she said. "41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. Halfway there, guys. Halfway there. She said that some of my, depending on the blood work and stuff, but that she felt that medicine in the US is very quick to use meds, to start you on some kind of meds as quickly as possible. And she said that her approach, and basically the approach of medicine here in Argentina, is more lifestyle changes. And so she said, of course, we have you on the metformin and the blood pressure medication, and we don't want to change that, especially because she's not my primary physician. I have one in the US who's managing all this. But she said, you seem to be doing good. You've lost, and we were talking about everything that we've been doing since we started this back in February. She said, I'm encouraged by your weight loss. I'm encouraged by all these things that you're doing that seems to be going well, And so she said, I would probably be more quick to try to get you off medications, probably quicker than maybe your doctor in the US would. And she said, but again, I'm not your primary doctor. I'm sort of like subbing for your doctor while you're here in Argentina. But, we talked a little bit about lifestyle change, and she said that is usually her first, like she doesn't like to over-medicate, I guess. And, is that it? I mean, like, I have a ton of doctors in my family, and I think we over-medicate in the US. Do you guys agree? Like, are we very quick to just, favor meds over lifestyle changes? Because, yeah, like people, like I know that, like my doctors in the US mention these things, like, oh yeah, you should change, you should exercise more. But I feel like there's not enough emphasis on that. They almost like say it as an afterthought, as in like, they're there to treat the illness with the tools that they have. And if you want to make the lifestyle changes and all that stuff, you can, and I guess they don't advise against it, obviously, but I don't feel like they encourage it in any real way. It's like they tell you have to do it, but here are the meds, and that's it. There's no real, like, conscious effort to get you to make lifestyle changes. And so, I don't know, why is that? All right, let's do one more set. 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60. And so we were talking about some of the changes that I'm making and the stuff that I'm doing here. And, she seemed to think it was a good idea, obviously. But I just thought it was very interesting to see how she felt that based on the blood work and stuff, she would want to lower. Like she even said, like, if your blood pressure keeps going down, we might want to pay attention to it and lower the medication because we also don't want it to go too low. And so, I don't know, very interesting. And I liked her. She was great. You know what I'm talking about? Like when sometimes you go to a doctor or someone and they just rub you the wrong way. They just make you feel uneasy in some way or something. And some other people they got it, like they just make you feel comfortable, and she's one of them. So I'm probably going to think about, like having her be like my official doctor here in Argentina. Meds are a little more expensive here. And I don't know if that has to do with the fact that my insurance probably covers a lot of it in the US. I haven't paid enough attention to that because I know my insurance is fairly good there. But I remember I was really surprised about the Lexapro because my Lexapro in the US is nothing. It's like $1 for 90 pills. Because I usually get it in 3 months. Since I travel, my doctors know to give me as much as they can or as much as my insurance will allow in advance. And so I know that 90 pills, so 90 days, it's probably $1 or something silly like that. And then 30 days here was one place. So I went to one pharmacy, and that one pharmacy, it was going to be $54 for 30 days. And then I said, do you have anything cheaper, like something a little more generic? And she said, well, I have another. And she went and checked and said, like, this one's 36. And then I went to another pharmacy, and that one was like 16. So I ended up going with that one. But, you know, like, I don't know, that's expensive. But again, it might also be because my insurance probably covers a lot of it in the US. All right, let's keep going. 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70. So I went and got all the meds. So I got the metformin, which is 60 pills for a month. The Lexapro, which is another 30 pills for a month. And the losartan. And that was, ended up being like $45, I think. Again, not terrible, but definitely a lot more than I'm used to paying back in the US for the meds. But I'm going anytime soon, and nobody's coming, and I'm out of pills by the middle of next week. So I needed to get that done. And then today for lunch, I used some of that bone broth and we made some ramen. And so I'm trying to figure out, like, if I'm having any kind of like grain, or for some reason that feels, at least this week, with this sort of like more extreme mindset that I seem to be in, like having ramen noodles, like some of those dry instant noodles that we bought at the Asian place. They're just like, they're dry noodles. We're not using any of the other stuff, just the dry noodles, but they feel like it's a no-no. Like that's a bad food that we're not supposed to have. And for the one hand, I feel guilty a little bit, and the other part of me is like, I can't even like deal with that right now, so I'm just gonna have them. But I end up having them with a slight guilt over it, which I know a lot of you guys are probably gonna tell me that I'm silly, and I know I probably am, but I am, and I do appreciate the support and you guys, you know, putting me in my place in that way, but I'm just telling you what's happening, and I feel a little bit of guilt over it. 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80. And so, and I still measured everything and made sure that we were staying under, or not under, but that we're still staying within our target nutrition in terms of like carbs and fat and protein and our calories and stuff. But again, at the end of the day, the metrics are going to tell us if we're headed in the right direction. Are the foods that we're eating, it's the nutrition that we're having sending us down the right path? You know, is my body getting smaller? Am I maintaining my muscle tone? You know, are we losing weight? Are we actually losing weight? Because at the end of the day, we do need to lose weight, you know? And then my labs, you know, I talked to that's another thing. I talked to the doctor about a DEXA scan down here because I figure a DEXA scan down here is probably going to be cheaper than a DEXA scan in the US. She looked at me like I was crazy. She gave me a look. It's just like, why? Why? It's such a specialized thing. That's for athletes. And I don't know, maybe that's the way that they do it here, but I don't know. I would want to see, like, I know that we take some of the, with the suit and stuff, those measurements sort of tell us how much fat we're really carrying, but I don't know, like I would want to see it. I don't know how expensive that might be. It could be like prohibitively expensive, so. But I don't know, I would be so curious to see a DEXA scan right now, like when I'm still over 300. I would have loved to get one when I was almost 350, like that would have been great. Just, to have a comparison, but I don't know. She looked at me like I was crazy and she said, no. And so I didn't push it. But it was just so funny because to her that was like, what? All right, two more sets. Okay, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90. And so that was today, you guys. What an interesting week. Also, I am happy to report that I finally sort of figured out the weekly roundup that I want to do. Obviously, by the time you're watching this, you will have read it if you signed up for it. Otherwise, there's a link probably in the description below. But I don't know if it's exactly what I want, but it's a good first step. And so I wanted to at least get started, at least make sure that we're starting with something and we can continue improving from there. Now, I don't know if this, when is the right time to talk about these things? Maybe we should do like a little announcement by the time, see, the thing is that it's going to come out, or it's going to come out on Monday, which by the time you see this, it will have already come out. I don't know, maybe I need to do a little announcement. That'll probably be a good idea. But I don't know, it's the first iteration of it. I think it can be improved, but I also didn't want to delay it too much, so I wanted to launch with something and sort of, go from there. So, let's do our final set. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 97, 98, 99, 100. All right. We are done with that. Let's do our bicep curls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, 18, 19, 20. And so something else, I guess, that we should talk about is I still haven't decided a platform. So there are two different platforms. I'm not familiar with either one of them, but I'm still trying to decide. And then it's kind of weird because by the time you see this, I will have already chosen. This is, I guess, a little bit of the problem of doing the videos a week behind or releasing the videos a week behind. On the one hand, it's great because sometimes I need that flexibility. Like this past couple days, and I have needed this flexibility in the past, where if I had to hit every single day, and I know I don't have to, but it's a goal that I set for myself, and I think it keeps me, it's so easy for me to get derailed and to go off the deep end that having this daily commitment keeps me on track, and I think that's important. But and so having, a week ahead gives me the chance to, like, for whatever reason I miss a day or two here and there, not just with the filming, but like, editing, and I really don't do much editing, if any at all. But, it gives me that extra little bit of time to, get my work done, make sure that you guys are getting your videos every single day, which is, it's important to me for commitment reasons. But then on the other hand, it can be a little, I remember like at some point towards the beginning, somebody said like, wait a second, I'm watching what day is this? When are you filming this? Because like this video releases in some parts of the world like early in the morning, and I've already filmed the entire day, and this person was so confused about like, wait, what's going on here? And that's why when I started making that joke that I'm a time traveler and blah, blah, blah. And so that's the, it was funny. But in cases like this, I don't have, basically by the time you see this, I'm still debating whether to go with, which platform to go with. But by the time you see this, I will have already chosen one or not. I really don't know yet. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, and 40. Whew. And so the first platform, my throat is dry. The first platform that I signed up for, or the only one that I've signed up for so far, is something called Buy Me a Coffee. And the reason I was looking for different platforms, and originally I had looked into one that was recommended to me called Substack. And the idea was to publish this sort of weekly roundup as like a weekly newsletter. I thought, hey, this is a good idea to publish as a newsletter. And then someone recommended, if you're looking to publish a newsletter, Substack is a good one. And then while I was researching Substack, there were some ads for a different one called Buy Me a Coffee. And I was familiar, not super familiar, but I had heard of Buy Me a Coffee in the past. And so I thought, well, this is probably a good idea to check out. And I saw that it had some other features that I liked. And it seemed easier to set up. And so I decided to go with that. But I'm still not sure if that is the right way of going about this. I'm still not sure. And so I'm going to try to check out Substack this weekend. And by the time Monday comes around, and you guys see last Monday's video, then we'll have a link to whatever it is, to whatever the thing is. So, but yeah, I'm excited to get started with it. Like I said, it's not ideal in the sense that it's not exactly what I wanted in terms of but you know, you always get these ideas, and at the end of the day, you got to go with something and then sort of tweak and improve, because otherwise I'll be tinkering forever before I put something out. But I just think that it would be useful for me and for others if we reflected on the lessons that we're learning, you know, force us to take a step back and reflect on the week and things that could be improved and things that we're doing well, and yeah, just kind of see where that takes us. That's it. 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, and 60. Well, thank you guys for another workout. I am so glad that we did it together. I hope you're doing it with me. And that is it for us today. Yeah, we're getting there. We are getting there. We are going to continue to figure this out and improve, because I want to improve or continue to improve not only what we're doing, but the way we're doing it. I want to improve these videos. I want to improve our nutrition and our systems and everything. Just a work in progress. So thank you for sticking around, and I will see you tomorrow. All right, so it's like 11 o'clock at night, and we went to a play tonight, and it was really good. And everything was fine, and then, you know, I had a good dinner. You know, I had met my calories and macros for the day, and you know, like I shouldn't be hungry, and I'm not hungry. But then we come out, and then, you know, we're in the middle of like everything, and there are bars and restaurants and food everywhere, and like, it just, I feel like an addict, you know, just like, you know, an alcoholic walking through a liquor store. It's insane how strong the pull is. And so we had originally thought like, hey, you know, like maybe after the show we'll go and drink something. Fuck no. That just couldn't do it. We had to come straight home, and I'm kind of bummed out because I feel like, you know, Dunima maybe wanted to stay out and grab a drink or something, and I just couldn't do it. I had to come straight home and avoid temptation, because temptation was very strong, and it was hard. So like now I have a headache, you know, and it's like a hunger headache, but I'm not hungry, you know, I ate plenty. There's no need. So I just, you know, these are the moments where I feel like, you know, I have wanted in the past to share it with you guys. And I keep not being able to do it, like in the moment. It's like, oh, I don't know. And so I just, you know, these are the things. These are the moments that make it really difficult. Again, I had plenty of food. Something that I did today, we bought. I bought some grapes, and they've been helping a little bit. Like I had some grapes after lunch and dinner today, and again, you know, it's fruit and it's higher in sugar, all the things, of course, you know. And I will chastise myself because we do this to ourselves, but it's helping. You know, it's certainly helping the food anxiety after eating. But oh, I could have eaten a whole pizza as soon as we get out of there. And there's a bunch of pizza places
along the theater row, and and Argentinian pizza is not that good. Don't tell them I said that because they'd be really upset. But yeah, it's not that good. It's not like American pizza, you know. So, but still, it was hard. It was hard. It was hard to come home. And luckily, I had Yolima to make sure that I didn't. But yeah, this is why people need that. Don't you have a buddy? It's that kind of gets you out of when you're thinking about relapsing, whatever. So yeah, I didn't do it. This is a small victory, and I wanted to share it with you guys. All right, see you tomorrow.